We have a, how nice. Welcome, Wednesday Yoga. So as I mentioned in the note, we're going to do both Yin and Yang Yoga for the reasons that I did put in the note for those who read. And then Tech Guy is going to divide them, so you'll have that to practice over summer if you want to. But it'll also give you a really good and clear definition of the difference between these two. So Yang Yoga is what it sounds like. You're expanding and you're active, but Yin, don't underestimate the benefits of Yin Yoga. Connective tissue includes ligaments and tendons and the fascia. When that stuff's tight, I don't even have to finish that sentence. A lot of issues will be in your tissues if they are tight, period. So we are going to start with the Yang version, and I've got some lively music, so we're going to come to standing. And okay, so move anything off your mat. We are going to start with sun salutations. And in fact, for 20 years studying with my teacher, that's exactly how we started. There were no warm-ups. We started in sun salutations. So coming up to the fronts of your mats, inhaling in place, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart, arms up, reach up, look up, and arc back. Inhale, straighten out, feet back together. Exhale, reach forward as you fold. Fingertips to the floor, please let your heads hang. Step your left leg back, drop the knee to the mat, or you can keep it off the floor. Bring your hands onto your front knee. Inhale, lift up, sweep the arms up. Fingers are active. Press through your back heel. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart. Come on into whatever version of push-up or plank position works for you, either in the full plank or your knees on the floor and your feet crossed at the ankles. Release your knees to the mat if they aren't already. Flatten the tops of your feet. Leave your hands where they are and take your hips back towards your heels. Stretching through the shoulders, the spine, releasing your lower back. And then slowly, nice and low, like a snake in the grass, slide your torso forward until your chest and your chin alight on your mats. Slide everything out behind you. Bring your fingertips back to align with the edges of your shoulders. On an inhale, roll the invisible alley, looking straight down at the mat, pressing hips and pelvis into the mat. Come on up into baby cobra. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose as much as possible. One more breath in, exhale, lengthen and lower. Curl your toes under, lift your hips up. Walk your feet a few inches forward. Bend your knees, press your heels towards the mat. Let's bring belly towards thigh, chest towards knees. Keep the knees bent at this point. Press your sits bones towards the back of the mat. Make sure you're optimizing the length of your spine. And now press your heels towards the mat, transitioning half of the weight into the lower half of your body. Feel the stretch in the backs of your knees, your calves, your Achilles tendons, and breathe. Lift that left leg up in the air, look at your left hand, swing that foot as far forward as you can, other leg forward, and let your head hang. Arms beside your ears, pull your bellies in, engage your thighs, sweep the arms in front. Feet apart, reach up, look up, arc back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold, let your heads hang. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Let's do a second round. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart. Arms up, reach up, look up, arc back. Inhale, feet come back together. Lift up out of your waist, stretch forward, fingertips to the floor. Maybe your knees are bent, but if your legs can be straight, great. Step your right leg back, drop the knee to the mat, bring your hands onto your front thigh. And then focusing your gaze for balance. Back leg straight, front knee bent, arms up, holding the invisible beach ball. Maybe this weekend, maybe not this weekend. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart. Come on into your push-up plank position and breathe. I hope that this position is getting somewhat easier, unless of course you have wrist or shoulder issues. Always be mindful, respectful, compassionate towards your body on any given day. One more breath in. And release the knees to the floor, flatten the tops of the feet. Leave your hands where they are. Slowly take your hips back towards your heels. Stretching the upper part of the body, compressing the belly. So much goodness and nourishment in these postures. And then leaving your hands where they are, lower your elbows and forearms and slowly come forward until your chest and your chin alight on the mat. Slide everything out behind you. Draw your fingertips back to align with the tops of your shoulders. Elbows into your side body. Forearms to the floor, forehead on the mat. You may wish to spread your feet apart, pressing the tops of your feet and the tops of your toes into the mat. Roll the invisible alley with your nose, and on an inhale, we'll all come up into baby cobra, keeping your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders aligned, your shoulders down and back, away from your ears. And then if you wish, press into the floor, eyes rolling up, open or close to your third eye, Ajna Chakra. One more breath in, exhale, lengthen and lower. Bring your feet back together if you separated them, curl your toes under, lift your hips up, walk your feet a few inches forward, bend your knees, press your belly to your thighs, press your chest to your knees, and align your ears with your inner arms. Be sure all your fingers and the heel of your hand are pressing into your mat. And then press your sits bones towards the back of your mat to further lengthen and stretch your spine. And then press your heels down towards the mat. Feel the stretch, feel the energy, the vitality, the revitalization, the energizing of Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up, looking up, sweep that leg forward, other leg forward, and let your upper body hang. Arms beside your ears, pull your bellies in, engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, reaching up, stretching up, arcing back. And then inhale, stretch up, exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up, hands in prayer, exhale to your heart center. One more round each side, inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Inhale, feet apart, reaching up, looking up, arcing back. Inhale, stretching up, lift out of your waist. Exhale, fold from your hips, reaching forward as you fold. Maybe you're noticing you're getting more of your fingers or perhaps the palms of your hand on the floor. Not the goal, just notice where you're at. Inhaling in place, exhale, step your left leg back and you can drop your knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your front right thigh and then inhale, lifting up, focus your gaze. Your anchor is your back leg. Press through that heel, fingers are active and ready to hold your body weight. Bring them forward onto your mat. Take the other leg back. If anything, your bum should be poking up in the air. Please don't sag. Try to lift up out of your shoulders. Pull your bellies towards your spine. Give yourself a yogic hug, bringing your rib cages towards one another. Feel galvanized, strengthened, the ability to handle tatiksha, hardships. They come and they go. Breathe. And then release your knees. Flatten the tops of your feet. Take your hips back towards your heels. Releasing the pressure from the wrists, the forearms, the elbows, and the shoulders. Let your belly rest on your thighs, maybe your chest too. And breathe. Leaving your hands where they are, release your forearms and elbows to the floor. Slowly come forward until your chest and your chin alight on the mat. Thumbs in the air. Slide everything out behind you. Bring your fingertips to align with the edges of your shoulders. Release your forehead to the mat. Elbows into the side body, forearms down towards the floor. Notice how this moves your shoulders away from your ears. Tops of your feet are flat with your toes pointing backwards. Roll an invisible alley. Inhale, coming up into baby cobra. And if you wish, pressing up into the fuller expression. Keeping shoulders down. Don't let your elbows go out. Keep them aligned with your wrists. One more breath in. Exhale, lengthen and lower. Curl your toes under. Lift yourselves up. Walk your feet a few inches forward. Bend your knees. Press your belly to your thighs. Chest to your knees. Align your ears with your inner arms. Pressing all 10 fingers into the mat so you've got space for your carpal tendon. That's called your carpal tunnel inside of your palm. And now press your sits bones towards the back wall and press your heels towards the mat. Feel the balls of your feet pressing into the floor. We're going to be talking about this while we're doing our yin, so just get in touch with the fact that your toes are kind of resting here. The balls of your feet are pressing into your mat. Lift your left leg up, look at your left hand, swing that foot as far forward as possible. Other leg forward, and let your upper body just hang. Galvanize your thighs by lifting up your kneecaps. Pull your bellies in to protect your lower back. Arms beside your ears. Inhale, sweep the arms in front, reaching up, feet apart for balance. Look up, arc back. Inhale, feet back together. Lift up out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, sweep the arms and circle them out and up. Exhale, hands to prayer. One more round. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, step your feet apart, arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back together, lift up out of your waist. Exhale, reach forward as you fold, letting your heads hang. Step your right leg back, drop the knee to the mat, bring your hands onto your front thigh, shoulders over your hips. Inhale, lifting, sweep the arms up, press through that back heel. Really make sure you're anchoring this posture by pressing into that back leg and heel. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart to distribute the weight. Take the other leg forward, draw your heart center over your thumbs, reach your crown forward, pressing all 10 fingers in, building strength, core strength, upper body strength, and the ability to endure hardship. One more breath in. Exhale, release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, take your hips back towards your heels, lengthening and releasing the upper body. And then leave your hands where they are. Slowly come forward, releasing your chest and your chin onto your mats. Slide everything out behind you. Bring your fingers back to line with the tops of your shoulders, elbows into your side body, forearms pressing down to the mat. Roll the invisible alley. You may wish to spread your feet apart. Inhale, pressing up into baby cobra. Maybe this is as far as you're going, or you're pressing the floor away from you, coming up into the fuller expression of Bhujangasana. Cobra. Eyes rolling up, open or closed. One more breath in. Exhale, lengthen and lower. Bring your feet back together if they were separated. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up. Walk the feet a few inches forward. Bend your knees, press your belly to your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees. Align your ears with your inner arms. Send your sits bones to the back of your mat. Press your heels onto the mat. Feel the stretch in the backs of your knees, your calves, your Achilles tendons. Really important if you play any racket sports. One more breath in. Exhaling. And then lift your right leg up. Look at your right hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward. And then just let your upper body hang in Uttanasana. This lengthens your spine. It releases the tension and reverses the forces of gravity. Bring your arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs. Pull your bellies in. Sweep the arms in front, reaching up, feet apart for balance. Look up, arc back. Inhale, feet come back together. Lift up out of your waist. Exhale. Forward fold, bend your knees, sweep the arms out and circle them up and over. Exhale, hands in prayer. Yay. Okay, take a sip of water and give everybody awake. Okay. Let's just take a moment in Tadasana. Very important. You know, when I'm starting, and I will practice yoga on the beach, I actually just love it. Especially when I look through my legs at the water upside down. I don't know if you guys have ever done it, but kind of cool. Okay, feet are hip width apart. Outsides of your feet parallel to the outsides of your mat. So this is really important. If you're standing washing dishes, put yourself in a position where you're not like this. Bring yourself as good. If you're brushing your teeth, you know, just, these are the little things. I might send out little reminders. I'd like to do the little videos, you know, a lot of things we all want to do, right? It's something called time. Lift your sternum up. Lower your shoulders. Pull your armpits down. Let your gaze focus on an imaginary horizon. Crown of your head floating up. That is axial extension. You want to look 5, 10 pounds thinner? This will do it. And breathe. Okay, legs shake out. Come on up the fronts of your mats for a little vinyasa. Step your right leg back 1 leg length. Heel of front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. Bend your front knee. Look and see your big toe inside of your knee. Don't let your torso go forward just because you bent your knee. Keep your shoulders over your hips. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. You might want to have a look at the arm behind you and breathe. Now make sure you're pressing into the outside of your back foot and that you're also pressing into the outside of your front foot so that your adductor muscles are engaging your inner thigh. And then inhale, reach that top arm up into exalted peaceful warriors. And then take that arm back further into reverse warrior 2. Inhale, coming back into exalted peaceful warrior. And come on back into Virabhadrasana 2. Lower your front arm onto your front thigh. Take that back arm and reach it around the front of your body and over your ear. The bottom palm faces up, the top hand palm faces down. Blossom your chest open, your heart center to the side of your mat. Reach through those top fingertips. That top arm is straight. Marie-Hélène, yep, you're reaching it, and the palm faces the floor. Palm faces the floor. Front knee should be very bent. You're reaching with your top arm. I think that's Kelsey back there. If you stretch it out, maybe you have an arm issue, I'm not sure. But if you have to play, if you have any issues with restriction, injury, pay attention to that. And now inhale, straighten your front leg and reach your top arm straight up and your lower arm is straight down. So we're in Trikonasana triangle pose. Your front leg is straight. Inhale, reach the top arm up. Exhale, close it and take it to meet the bottom arm. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, float it down. One more time. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, float down. And last time, take it up. And then inhale, come on up, turn sideways on your mat. Arms out at the side, 5-pointed star. Exhale, forward fold halfway. Flatten the tops of your back. Inhale, sweep the right arm up, reaching up, stretching up, looking up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, reaching up, stretching up. Exhale, float it down. And then once again, let's take that front foot, your left foot, turn it 90 degrees forward. Bring your hands on either side of your left foot. Bend the knee, take it back, and walk your dog. One leg straight, one bent. Relax your neck, let your head hang. Might want to give your head a bit of a shake so you know you're not holding. Take the time to feel what you're stretching. Notice it. Practicing mindfully. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Bend your knees. Bring your weight into your heels, into the back of your foot. Inhale, coming into chair pose. So you should be able to see your toes in front of your knees. Lifting your gaze. After you've had a look at your toes, exhale, forward fold, let your heads hang. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, forward fold, let your heads hang. Bend your knees. Once again, one more chair pose, Utkatasana. Strengthening for the lower body as well as the core. So the weight is in the heels, not in the top part of your foot, the front part, it's in the back part. Shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, come on all the way up. Exhale, float your arms down. Give your legs a shake out. So we did left foot first. Okay, come on up to the fronts of your mat and step your left leg back, one leg length. Make sure the heel of your front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. So right foot forward, left foot back. Bend that front knee, look down, see your big toe inside of your knee. That knee wants to collapse in, keep it out. Press into the outside of your back foot. This activates these muscles. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. You're fixing your gaze over your front fingertips. Lifting up at the sternum, relaxing your shoulders and lengthening your neck. Breathing. If you feel like you're torquing forward, if you're feeling a little bit in your back ribs, make sure you bring your body so that if there a plumb line through the center of your head, it's going to come right down through the center of your body. Lower your back arm, down your back leg, reach that top arm up, stretching up, looking up, exalted peaceful warriors, and then reverse warrior. Bring that top arm a little further back. Try not to crunch into your rib cage and hips. Lengthen. Think about lengthening. More than bending, lengthening. And bring the arms back to warrior two. Bring your forearm onto your front forearm, onto your front thigh. Take that back arm down, around, in front of your body, and then reach it over your ear. This opens up your chest, your heart center. Reach through your fingers. Imagine there is a straight line of energy from your back foot all along the side of your body. Reaching, stretching, Parsvottanasana. One more breath in, stretch. Exhaling, and then inhale, straighten your front leg and let your top arm go straight up directly above the other arm. So the front leg is straight, you're not locking the knee, but it is straight. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bring the top arm down to meet the bottom. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhaling, up. Exhale, down. And let's just do one more for good measure. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, down. Lovely. And then once again, pivot your feet. Place your fingertips on the floor just below your face, tabletop your back. Let's sweep the left arm up first. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up. Exhale, float it down. Let's lunge over to the left, bringing bum close to heel. Inhaling up and over to the other side. Back into the center. Walk your feet in towards one another and bring yourselves down onto your mat. And that's it for Yang. Do take a sip of water. Okay, so we're going to start in our modified child's pose. Now, we've done this lots of times. I'm going to tell you a lot more about the benefits of what appears to be such a simple pose. So, now, the other thing is that I brought extra cushioning today. You know what, I'll get up afterwards. But if you find that bending your knees 90 degrees, there's little tiny half pillows and things that you can put under the backs of your knees if you find you want to use that. There's so more cushions on the bench over there. And if you're at home practicing, rolled up towels, little tiny pillows. So knees are as wide as your mat, tops of your feet flat on the floor, big toes are touching. You're taking your hips back towards your heels. This is where you need to be careful with your knees. If you prefer to have your knees closer together, that's fine too. One of the benefits of having your knees wide apart, if you have a tummy like me, is that there's no restriction or constriction for your tummy for breathing and digestion. Then you're going to walk your hands out in front and then release your forehead onto the floor. Now, if having your forehead on the floor is not comfortable, and this yin is all about not having props. If you have props nearby, by all means, use a bolster to place your head on the mat or an article of clothing. But this is all about yin with no props. You can fold your arms to create the pillow. You can stack your fists. But the idea of yin yoga is that there is less exertion and more allowing. And we're going to spend probably 3 minutes here. The point is to find the place in this pose and all the poses that we're going to do that makes it easy to hold, to breathe. Consciously roll your shoulders away from your ears. As your heartbeat and your breath settle and become more rhythmic, our parasympathetic nervous systems are activated, and this is the place where the body begins to heal, restore, and balance body and especially the mind. So much of our grief and aggravation, fear and worry begins in the mind. It's either our thinking about how something should be, our reactions to what is happening, and there's always a choice about how we're going to process what's happening. And this is not about being perfect ever. This is just about checking in, being mindful, noticing our own ability to calm ourselves. This posture is stimulating to our root chakra. Our root chakra is all about feeling secure. It's stimulating to our sacral, our next chakra, which is all about connecting, relationships. And when these two chakras begin to feel balanced, safe, they begin to channel the prana, the energy, up to our crown chakra, Sahasrara, which is divine connection. Holding this posture nourishes the spleen, stomach, and small intestine meridians. So there's an incredible flow of energy, kind of like what acupuncture does for us, we can do for ourselves. Breathing into your side and back bodies, releasing stiffness in the shoulders, upper back. middle and lower back. It also gently opens the hips, the pelvic area, so that there's greater flexibility and range of motion in this area. And it's activating to the arches as it rests the toes. Now, we're going to slowly come out of this, and transitioning in Yin is as important as the postures. You're going to push into your hands, and you're going to slowly walk them back. Okay, so some of you may really want to have cushions for this next one. We're going to do our toe stretch. Actually, I've got my runa here. So it would be a good idea to elevate your knees. Now, you can use your blocks. You can roll your mat. There are cushions over there on the bench, whatever you have. But it's a good idea. It's helpful to elevate your knees. So sometimes when all we have is a mat, because this really is Yin Yoga without props. Typically, if you've done a Yin Yoga class, the room is littered with props. It's lovely if you have them. So you can roll your mat over, but because we have some things here, we may as well use them. So you're coming onto your knees, and you're curling your toes under. And you're going to say, how could this possibly be restoring me? Well, I'll tell you how. Okay, so hang in, just breathe. Now, you could take your arms behind your back if you like. You could do your backwards prayer. This is more intense for the shoulders, your upward prayer, or just take hold of your shoulders. Now, listen, obviously, if you come forward, you're taking some of the pressure off. But toe squats, very challenging, but rewarding. Draw your shoulder blades down. So it strengthens the plantar fascia that joins the heels and the toes. Now, here's where you want to try to get onto the balls of your feet more than your toes. Okay, most of you might be on your toes right now. Try to bring back and be onto the balls of your feet. Don't worry, this is going to feel so good when we stop. It's kind of like jogging. I hate it. It feels good when I stop. So Taoist people say, those with open toes have an open mind. And like parachutes, you know that one too. Open minds work better like a parachute. Okay, stimulating stomach, spleen, organs that are often out of balance with excessive worrying. It's restorative for your kidneys. It nourishes your liver, your gallbladder. Is anybody complaining out there? Detoxifies, break down foods, helps to reduce frustration, cloudy thinking. You're probably not thinking about anything except what your plantar fascia is saying. Okay, you're done. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Yeah, listen, some of the hardest things in life, when we do them, we feel good afterwards that we did it. Maybe not. Okay, kids, next up. Now, you're definitely, most of us should be rolling up the backs of our mats for this, okay? I have a cushion here, so I want to sit forward. So this is going to be half butterfly. Now, this is a great example of the difference between Yin and Yang Yoga. If this were, now, Jana Shirshasana, so bring your right foot inside of your left thigh, and you roll up your mat a lot. Or, I mean, because the blocks are, you know, they're just, I'm hoping to get some props from, for the next session, which will change things. So if you're sitting on something, roll up your mat, you use your knee pad too, use whatever you need, and then bring your right foot, we're gonna do the mirror, well, you could bring your left foot in, doesn't matter, we're gonna do both sides. Now, if this were Yang Yoga, if this were regular yoga, Jana Shirshasana, we would be like, lift up your chest, sit up tall, flex your foot, Arms up, and reach. Not doing that. Isn't that great? So we're going to let gravity work with us through this. So you really got to try and roll up that mat, or, you know, grab some, there are pillows on that bench over there. Maybe I'll just get up in a moment. And, or Carmen, would you be willing to grab the bag? There are knee pads over there too, just to elevate a little bit of height. So in half butterfly in Yin Yoga, yeah, and by the way, the knee, the other thing you may wish to do is use, if your knee hurts when it's out to the side, use something to elevate the knee, all right? So, again, you can fold, well, just take whatever you've got. Okay, so sitting up as tall as you can, but there's no force here. You're gonna round the back and just gonna fold over forward. Now, obviously, it's gonna be very intense on your hip, so just use your hands and go to wherever. This is not about efforting. This is about releasing, allowing, and just letting gravity have its way with you to bend forward. So I realize this could be very intense on the hip. Please breathe into it. It's a great way to practice the softening that is indicative of a yin practice. You're not engaging. So you're just hanging out here. Now, sciatica, slip disc, hamstring injuries, you know, these are, or hernia, of course, are contraindications to this posture. And I'm sure if you have any of those things, you won't be doing this today. But just let gravity do the work. Let your palms be relaxed, your arms just hanging out. If this was a yoga class that had a ton of props, you might have a huge bolster to rest your forehead on. But most of us don't have these props. And so how do we do these things without? This is how. So just breathe. You're just relaxing as much as you can. And although you may think that this couldn't really produce results, you have to let go of that kind of thinking. We live in a society that is incredibly result-oriented. There are so many demands being placed on us. We're probably not even aware, not to mention the demands that we place on ourselves. And I say this with some authority. I know what it's like to want to be and do, and so letting go. This is a posture that stimulates digestion. It is nourishing for your kidneys, your liver. You can feel what it's stretching, your hips, your inner thigh, your groin, your back body, and your knees. So just breathe. Maybe you're noticing a little release, maybe not. Just let your head hang. You can even let your shoulders round. Just a couple more breaths. And then using your hands, slowly begin to press yourself back up. Draw your knee into the center and slowly and carefully straighten it. And just gently bang out the back of your knee. And breathe. Okay, let's take the other side, bringing the sole of your foot into your inner thigh. And you may notice a difference one side to the other. No need to flex the foot of the straight leg. This is really about letting go. So walk your hands out front and close your eyes. Relax your arms and let your upper body fall forward in a place that feels comforting, allowing, no force. Support the bent knee if you need to. Walking your hands out to the place that feels right for you. You can really let your shoulders relax. You can round your back. This has a stretching effect on the kidneys, compression for the liver, the belly. And breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Notice the release and or the resistance. Maybe you've gone too far forward. Bring your hands back if that's the case. This is all about finding your place. Couple more breaths. And then use your hands to gently walk yourself back up. Gently bring the leg to the center and carefully unfold it. And just gently bang out the backs of your knees. It gets better from here, guys. And the thing is, our joints get stiff and tight if we're not really paying attention to mobilizing them. And in a normal day, we don't activate too many of the joints, same ones over and over. Okay, come on over onto your bellies. For Sphinx pose. Alrighty, come on to your forearms. Your palms are flat on the ground. Flatten the tops of your feet. Think of pushing the head of your arm bones back into their sockets. Lift your chin and your chest forward, your chin is up. Don't crank your neck. Think about lengthening through the crown of your head, creating more space in your neck. Now, if you find this back bend too intense, then bring your hands slightly forward so that your elbows are also coming forward. But if you're okay with your elbows underneath your shoulders, pushing those arm bones into their sockets, lifting, lengthening, and creating space through the upper chest, the neck. So holding this posture creates and maintains a healthy lower back curve. Aging and poor posture are the enemies of this important curve in your lower back, in your lumbar area. This reduces stiffness. It can even ease lower back pain. This is also stimulating for the heart chakra, where we give and receive love. Breathing in through your nose and out. Relaxing your toes. All back bends support the alignment and the integrity of your spine and your vertebra. They shouldn't be too intense, and we should know the difference. Couple more breaths here. And then lower yourself all the way down onto your mat. Release your forehead for a moment. Bring your arms beside your body. Turn your head to the right. Let your shoulders melt. Big toes touch and heels splay out. And breathe. And gently bring your head back to the center and all the way over to the other side. Or if you prefer, you can just keep your head in the center. Continue to let your shoulders melt. And then draw your arms up under your shoulders. And let's roll over onto our backs for supine pigeon. This is tech guy's favorite. Hopefully he's still awake. There he is. All right. Let's place the right ankle on top of the left knee. You can press that right knee away from you just to feel a little stretch through the inner groin. And then you can stay here if you like, because you're still getting the stretch through the inner thigh and the hip, but if you want to, bring your arms between your legs, so your right arm is between both legs, the left, and interlock your fingers behind the back of your knee. Now, if it's still relaxing, most of us it won't be, to bring the hands in front of the knee. Behind the knee will allow your shoulders to open and relax on the floor. And even if this is too much, just leave your foot on the floor with that right ankle on top of your knee. Your head and shoulders should be heavy on the floor, and there should be a minimal amount of arm strength used. Using your breath, letting go, releasing. And if you find in the letting go, I'm not here to put the brakes on anything, but I do want you to really be able to settle. So if you feel, some of us were blessed with longer arms than others, that you wish to bring the hands in front, but I'm asking that you not engage as much as you allow. See if you can tilt your chin towards the center of your chest to lengthen the back of your necks. Letting your head rest, your shoulders rest. So this posture, of course, is good for opening the hips, piriformis muscle, release your arms, lower that left foot to the floor. Now place your hands beside your body, press into that left foot and scooch your hips a little bit to the right. And then cross that top leg over and let both knees fall over to the left. And bring your arms to wherever they feel the most comfortable, whether it's out at the side or a little bit above the shoulders. But what I will ask you to do is to press your right shoulder into the mat. So as your knees are releasing to the left, it's really the middle and lower part of your spine that you're twisting, not the upper part, just the middle and lower. And now bring the knees back to center, uncross your legs, scoot your body back into the center of your mat. With your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, bring your left ankle on top of your right knee. And you can press, just not even with your hands, just use that left knee. You can press it away from your body and you start feeling the stretch in the hip joint. Then if you wish, bring your left knee towards you, interlock your fingers behind your left or right thigh. Again, you're tilting your chin towards the center of your chest to lengthen the back of your neck. Letting your head be heavy, the shoulders as flat to the floor as possible. Be sure that your right foot and ankle are like dead weight. They're just hanging off your calf. Notice the belly. If you're breathing in fully and exhaling completely, the belly will move. For further relaxation, we can always practice Ujjayi breathing, which is that ocean sound by constricting the back of your throat. And kind of make the sound of what you would hear in a conch shell. This also alkalizes your body. Sometimes we're far too acidic. An acidic body can lead to inflammation, and inflammation can lead to all the itises. Using your breath, and maybe you'd just like to lower that right foot back onto the floor for a moment and cross your right thigh over the left, pressing into the right foot. Bring your hips over to the left a few inches and then lower both knees over to the right. And by the way, if this stretch feels too intense, then just uncross your knees and stack one knee on top of the other. So you don't have to have the legs crossed. You can just stack them. And please press your left shoulder into the mat so that the twist is happening in the middle and lower part of your spine. And bring your knees back to center and extend your legs out in front just for a moment. Arms beside your body with your palms facing up in the open and receiving position. Heels together, feet splayed out. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax the jaw. If you have something to cover your eyes with, please do so. As I name the part of the body, I want you to mentally and silently command it to relax 3 times without any movement. This is something you can do for yourself. Always nice if somebody else with a dulcet voice does it for you. So you're going to mentally command each part of the body to relax 3 times, no movement. Feet, ankles, calves, thighs, hips and pelvis, abdomen, chest, shoulders, arms and forearms, hands and fingers, backs of thighs, buttocks, lower back, middle back, adrenals and kidneys, upper back, shoulders, neck, jaw, lips and tongue, eyelids and eyeballs, forehead, scalp, brain. Remembering to use your yoga practice as a tool to heal, to balance, to ground, to restore, and to love yourself. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. On an inhale, sweep your arms over behind your heads for a big stretch, and let go. Slowly roll over onto your sides. When you're ready, press yourself back up into a seated position. Apply your little Buddha smile. Bring your hands into your heart center in prayer and bow to yourselves. You've done good. Namaste. Have a beautiful day. Om Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Salutations, prostrations, memories, all storms, Shiva, and many thanks to all saints and sages. Thank you, everybody. There is a funeral at the church today.